Alrighty then, folks. I'm back here live. I accidentally went on twice, and something I'll have to look back with StreamYard and try to figure out at this time. Later on in the program, I will have John Restano. John Restano back on the program here. John Restano from Spitball and Sports. He'll be back on. Going to ask him about the Bills situation with Stephon Diggs, and also ask him about the Bears draft. So I've got to send him the new link since I've started a new stream. Stand by. Take our first and only break. I'll be back here less than 49 seconds. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Alrighty then. Wow, not the start I wanted, like Jamie Paggs, the Philly sports guy would say. Not the ending we wanted. Not the ending we wanted. Hey, if I just I'd rather laugh than keep from getting mad. Okay. All right. I'm probably going to have to skip a segment here, but I'll say this about Stephon Diggs. Today, it was reported that the Houston Texans, the Houston Texans, have adjusted his contract. Yesterday, he was traded essentially for a 2025 second-round pick, Buffalo to Houston. Now they've adjusted his contract, gave him $22 million. Gave Diggs $22 million to just play next year. And they did that, and it was pretty smart. They're saving themselves here. As I mentioned before, and I think they thought about this. The management, coaching staff, you got to get a lot of people sign off on a trade like this. But they thought to themselves, well, you guys got 3 years left on this contract. Do we really want a Diggs? By the way, his numbers when he first came to Buffalo went crazy. They were off the charts. Let me take a look at them here. 2020 was when he was traded over to the Bills here. And the first year he was originally drafted in 2015 by Minnesota. Guy's had a pretty good career, but he's turned into a bit of a diva, to say the least, and a headache. But no, in 2020, he was traded to the Bills, late first round pick, 127 catches, 1,500 yards. That was a career best, 8 touchdowns. It was by far his best season. As far as catches and yards, 127-15. He did have 11 touchdowns and 22 there. Pro Bowl level player. That being said, he's coming into a contract year. Houston, they won a playoff game last year. Okay. They won a playoff game last year. They have added Daniel Hunter there, the best available free agent. They haven't lost any coaches, the best available free agent in free agency as far as pass rusher is concerned out of Minnesota here. Their odds to win in the Super Bowl have went up to 10-1. And like I said yesterday, he'll look good early. And he will fade as it goes along. And I think the chemistry would fade as he goes along in the season, because he's going to want the ball. Even if they're winning, he's going to want the ball. That was yesterday. Today, 24 hours later, now Houston's they're putting him in a situation where he is where Diggs is in a situation where he's in a prove it year. They're wanting to get that year out of him that he had back in 2020, 4 years ago at Buffalo. That's what they're wanting to do now. Okay. Makes a little bit more sense. You got to look at it from my perspective. You got a young coaching staff, young general manager, very young quarterback, second year. They're pushing their chips in. Again, Stroud won a playoff game last year. Looked like world beaters at times, that Houston team. And I've told you all before, a lot of quarterbacks have went to Super Bowls, notable quarterbacks have went to Super Bowls in their second year. Others have won Super Bowls in their second year, okay? I'm starting to say Dan Marino. He's one of the ones that didn't win. and Brock Purdy didn't win one in the second year, too. You've got guys like I see you, John, back there, but I'm going to bring it on just a second. You've got guys like Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, all quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls in their second year. Those are five I just named. Two lost, three have won Super Bowls. But what does that do for a coaching staff? That gets major contract extensions. That gets your Bobby Slowicks, your offensive coordinators. That gets him head coaching jobs. You get that on the resume. So for the quarterback, other head coaches, management, everybody, you get on that big stage and you get to a Super Bowl in the NFL, 120 something plus million people. Look at all the jobs. They're pushing their chips in for 2024 here. And I'll go out on the limb and say they will not sign Stefon Diggs to an extension. And on that note, I'll bring in John. You ready to come on, buddy? Hey, man, I had some technical problems. I don't know if you've ever done this, and we could talk about it here. I'm the guy in charge here. Where you've brought yourself on your screen twice and you had that echo. I didn't know how to fix that.
I don't either. I've done it. I've done it and had to do what you've done. I
just had to send you a whole new link.
Yeah. I did that to Scott one day. I had to send my co-host. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, hey.
No idea.
I don't feel so bad now.
No, I've done it. And sometimes StreamYard just does what it does. So
yeah. So I totally wasted a segment, but I'd rather just have you here and talk anyways. What do you think about this Bills trade, and plus the news that Houston has just said, we're going to make this a contract year for them. We don't trust this guy long term.
Well, first of all,
Yeah, go ahead, dude. What's up?
No, I just don't understand the salary. I'll never, you know what? I'm a hockey guy. I understand their salary cap really well. I love all this, but this salary cap makes no sense. I've never heard of anything where I can just say, okay, I'll pay you, I'll pick up this $3.2 million bonus. And now I'm off the hook for the next 3 years with this guy at 18 point, whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all of that seems weird to me. You can do whatever you want in this league, it seems like, because they just did. I don't know what Houston's thinking, man. They're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're not even going to make it to it, in my eyes.
Right.
So what is this for? For 1 year? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess they're thinking, statistically saying, when I used to do these drafts for fantasy football, we would have a list of players that are in their contract year because statistically they give it their all.
Yeah.
They have career years. I just read his stats when he first came to Buffalo in 2020, John. He had a career year, 127 catches, 1,500 yards. He never had anything close to that. He's had a good career with Buffalo. But you and I know this guy, like a lot of these diva receivers, your Antonio Browns, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, when they go to a new team, they're on their best behavior year one or a contract year. And then they kind of go back to who they are. It ended with Antonio Brown taking his clothes off and running through the stadium.
Yeah.
Just a few years later, he's catching a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
And there's there's your Diggs thing, man. Now Diggs has done nothing. Diggs, his last memory is going to be of that drop pass.
It's going to be
in a Bills uniform. That probably wins the game for them. I don't, I got to say this. I'm up here in Buffalo, so
what's the vibe you were telling me on the X app there?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, when he first comes from Minnesota, you probably did too. It's hard for people that are excited. It's going to happen again. Like he was going to do it. There was no doubt. When the rumbling started, when you watched him yelling and you saw all the stuff, come on, we knew. You knew. Yeah. I knew that somewhere in here, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people now, the day after, from what I'm gathering, listening to some people, and Scott, my co-host, huge Bills fan, they're kind of feeling okay about it now. Because he wasn't going to stay. He was becoming he was being disrupted. There's a disruption going on there.
Yes, he was pushing his way out the way he did in Minnesota, John.
I know, and he gets rewarded for it because now he's going to get $22.5 million and have that opportunity to, I don't know, Dallas, somebody, if he has a great year. Wow.
Yes. There's a sucker born every day. My bet is, and listen, I own it when I'm wrong. I got this from Colin Coward. He does Colin right, Colin wrong. I know good scope, bad scope. They will not re-sign him after this year, regardless of what he does. He'll be 31 in November.
Can you explain? This would be, now here's the problem, right? There wasn't many teams that can take on that salary, I assume. The good teams couldn't bring him in. A team that could win a Super Bowl.
On a rookie contract, the quarterback,
So you'd bring him. Maybe I heard what you're saying before I come on. Second year quarter, maybe.
They're pushing all their chips in. They won a playoff game last year.
Yeah,
I guess to demand the ball though.
I know, and I guess maybe. Well, I don't see them winning the AFC next year. I can't envision them.
Well, they got Danielle Hunter, but I think Cincinnati is going to be back. The Chargers are going to be way better than people think.
Right.
Tennessee down here, they've made a lot of moves down here. They got a new defensive coordinator. I don't know about a good one, but at Jacksonville. So the competition is going to be a lot stiffer. Plus, the league's got film on Stroud. I think he's good, but there could be a sophomore slump. We don't know that.
I kind of think Buffalo might be even. I guess it depends what they do here.
Yeah,
they might be better off for it in the long. Because I think Josh Allen is probably. I mean, and I'm not a Bills fan whatsoever, but I really believe he might be the second best quarterback in the league. I don't know if there's many better than. I mean, all right, Mahomes, give him what he deserves. After Mahomes, why would I not say I take Josh Allen over everybody else?
He stays healthy. I thought maybe Burrow was that guy, and people will talk about Lamar. If you put Allen on that Ravens team, they've got a Super Bowl ring. They're the champs right now.
I agree. Lamar,
he's grown on me. Lamar, I thought he was going to really bust out this last year, but
it was funny when I was watching Justin Fields toward the end of the Bears.
Yeah,
that was I was feeling like he'll never reach Lamar's level. And what's Lamar's level really? I mean, it's not where you want to be. It's not where you want to go, is what I'm saying. So
that AFC Championship game kind of settled that, But history says you went to MVPs. History says those players do go on to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I went over that list before, but it's going to be a stiff competition. Houston, a lot of people are jumping on that bandwagon. I'm not sure if I want to win after D. I think Buffalo really got the better end. Plus, you got first round pick. This is supposed to be a deep receiver draft, man. It seems like it's a good bet for Buffalo to get that. That's addition by subtraction.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I think I even said it somewhere. It definitely is going to be because he's in it. I don't know what's been going on. I hear a lot of rumors up here that I don't know if they're true, but I mean, it was just, you saw him in Paris, right? He was at the thing at his, he was at a fashion show. Then he's on Instagram doing weird things, saying, waving goodbye and doing all
Oh,
kinds
I
of.
did. Yes.
And then you saw what happened with the RG3 thing on Twitter, on X.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just the only thing I don't like about it is he's able to force his way out. And what he's been able to do is amazing to me, that he is going to be able to have 1 year in Houston and be able to go where I know he probably wants. Where would you think? Dallas? I don't know why, but I envision Dallas. For some reason,
Well,
Dallas
play with his brother
is in my head. Yeah. Where else would he go? Going to go to Miami? No. I mean, that's the thing. Who can afford this guy? I guess that's the other thing. Who can afford him?
It would be another team with a rookie quarterback, a quarterback on a rookie contract that they believe in. Maybe the Colts,
Chargers,
somebody like that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's Houston.
No, I don't either. But
although you'll have the national people, you'll have ESPN and Fox Sports say, "Well, he had 120 catches in 2024." And he had 10 touchdowns. Why won't you re-sign him? Just wave that little flag, like the red flag in front of the bull. It's like, no, don't do it.
The Bills got a second-round pick for next year. I think that's a good pick, and it's the Vikings pick, so it'll be a high one. Yeah. You would figure the Vikings won't be good. And I thought I'll give Brandon Beane a lot of credit. I mean, I'm going to assume that this wasn't the plan for them. I think they were expecting to have Curtis Samuel, Shakir, and Diggs. So, because I know Brandon Beane said today that they've been taking calls about Diggs since last year. So
they should have got rid of him last year.
Right, because if they would have traded him before March 1st, I believe the dead cap would have been, they wouldn't have had to worry about this dead cap stuff.
Yeah.
So
that tells you there's some stuff we don't know, John.
Yeah. And
he's a dancer, man. I mean, I hate to use that word. That's a strong word for a player. Terrell Owens, Antonio Brown, he's not quite to that level.
No.
He's not too far from those levels.
And those guys made their teams better. You know what I mean? They're going to Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know. That's true.
You know what I mean? They're playing. I mean, even Owens played really good in that Super Bowl, I remember.
Yeah.
Even though he had the broken leg.
You can't keep them on your team too long.
They
can't be on their best behavior.
Diggs drops that. It is amazing that is pretty much the last play as a Buffalo Bill. Was that 60-yard pass?
Kind of like Brady on that pick six was his last play as a Patriot,
Right. Yeah. I still can't believe the salary cap, and I don't understand it, Robert. I just don't. I can't figure it out.
I read Spot Track and everything, and you really have to be in depth in this thing to understand it. The last two times that this happened, I commended the team that made the trade. Number one, who was the other one? Tyreek Hill. I said, I like the fact that they moved off Tyreek Hill. Well, they've won 2 Super Bowls without him. The other one was Devontae Adams. I said, I kind of like what Green Bay did. They moved off Adams. He's at that train wreck with the Raiders, and look what Green Bay did last year.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of it. And sometimes you're better for it. I mean, because Devontae Adams was getting frustrated in Green Bay. So you got to.
It's expensive.
You got to move. Yeah.
Yeah. They're divas. They're expensive, and they're post 30. Plus, if you have to pay your quarter, it's hard to pay too many guys these max contracts. The math don't add up, and you have to have some depth. You know.
And I think the Bills fans should be a little. I think they're starting to get it because they won nothing with him. And that's a great point. I'm going to have to steal that because that's a
hey man, point. You can have it, brother. You can have it. That's what we do. We help each other out.
Yeah, because that's such a good point about Adams and what's his name? That's that
the Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's doing okay, but Kansas City's won 2 Super Bowls.
I think that Allen, like I said, I've grown to like him a lot more than I used to, and I think I don't get I'll tell you the truth. I don't get the criticism sometimes. I don't see it as bad as others as far as turnovers and stuff. I pretty much I see somebody that if I had him, there's not many other quarterbacks I'd want. That's true. In the league. So
he just needs a consistent running game. He's John Elway in the 80s.
Just run. You almost got to let him run because he's so big. I don't see I don't know how he gets hurt. I mean, seriously. And now
Knock on wood. I love Josh. I would love to see him win a Super Bowl for Buffalo, man. You know,
you can't tackle from behind basically anymore, so you're not going to be able to pull him down.
No hip drop no more.
Yeah, you can't even drag him back. If you drag him down, it's over. I would say it's going to be foul. Because if you roll up on his, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
You know, brother, it's been a long time since I've talked to you.
Yeah.
Got to get your opinion. Was it fair, the draft compensation from Justin Fields? Switching gears.
Yeah, I guess the league says so.
You are what the market says you're worth, right?
Look, he won 10 games as a Bears starting quarterback. We know year one was bad because Ryan Pace had never been allowed to draft a quarterback. They were trying to win. Andy Dalton gets hurt. They throw him in. He gets sacked 20 times against the Browns that game. Okay, then year two, Poles comes. He has to strip it down. He does that. Year three now, it's not bad. They turned it around. Defense is playing good. You got DJ Moore. You got Cole Kmet. You've got your Khalil Herbert and even Dante Foreman. You got your two tackles now, Braxton Jones, who they drafted, and the guy from Tennessee, and I don't know his name.
Darrell Wright.
Yeah, he's there. You're looking good. You needed a center badly.
Yeah.
And he played his game of his life against Atlanta at home, his final home. It was incredible. That's what you go to Green Bay. You know, you can knock the Packers out. So it's like a mini playoff game for the Bears. 160 yards, you know, just nothing. Just a whole bunch of nothing.
He has to throw. He just sits there with the ball and gets demoralized. And I read their offensive line was like between 15 and 4. It wasn't that bad last year.
No, and now I'm starting to understand, listening to different guys, I guess, that know how to look at quarterbacks and stuff. He won't throw the ball unless he sees them wide open. So I guess that makes sense to holding it on to him.
Thinking.
So Ohio State, they're always open.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fine. They take, Olave. Olave takes a run and he's open and throw it down the field. He's got a nice long ball. I don't know if, I don't know what he does in Pittsburgh. As far as compensation, no, I couldn't believe it, honestly, at first. But then I realized,
maybe a third round pick or something, man. What they get, like a 6 or 7? That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and it's conditional. It could become a 4th if he plays over 49% of the snaps.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what I'm saying is, I think ESPN and those, remember coming into year 3, which he was in the MVP conversation at the beginning of the season. Yeah. I remember seeing that where he was in the top 5. They had him listed. He had no business being there.
No.
So, compensation sucked for him, but it was so toxic between, I don't know if you saw it on X there on Twitter. The fan base was crazy in Chicago. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. I was watching AM 670 out of Chicago. I'd watched it on the Fire Stick or watching ESPN 1000. It was bad, man. The people there's some real Justin Fields. I don't get it, what they saw, but very upset. It sucked that they didn't get more, but
yeah,
the league told you what he is.
Yeah, well, it tells you that what I've been saying. I think that they probably should take the chance with Caleb Williams last time we talked, and Mel Kiper saying that somebody told him he's worth a first round. I'm thinking, who told you that? That was at the very beginning of the off season in January.
Yeah,
was that Justin Fields' agent?
Yeah, I know. Ian Rappaport made a.
Everybody rolled with that report. I'm like, okay, I believe it when I see it.
They had me believing it, and I'm like, wait a minute, if this happens, what a year this will be. You got first.
There was like, the Falcons. I'm like, they're going to have the 8th pick too. Oh man, John's got to be beside himself, man.
Yeah. No, it's sad, right? I'm a big Ohio State fan, so that was like the perfect fit.
The double whammy, yeah.
Not good. Yeah, they got to go. You probably were saying it. There was others. I didn't want to believe it, that he wouldn't be what he was. You know what I'm learning is about all this, and I dug in a little more into Caleb Williams and looked at everything that I can. It's better to play in a college, in a university where it's not going so well all the time. Yeah, it's not so bad to be on a team that isn't so good. And Caleb Williams,
the guys who are succeeding. I mean, Mahomes, he always had to play catch up at Texas Tech. They had no defense.
Right.
Shootout every week, man.
Kind of like Caleb Williams. No defense.
It was a shootout every week, and
And
Other
Josh
than the
Allen,
Notre Dame game, he played well.
yeah, and even that game, I looked at that some more, and I'm watching it. He was under incredible amounts of pressure, and I think then he's got a problem with not being the hero. Josh Allen used to be like that.
Yeah.
You can't, you got to just sometimes you got to throw it away or take whatever you got to take.
Yeah.
But I learned that, and I learned why Ohio State quarterbacks, Alabama quarterbacks generally.
Yeah. Mac
don't-
Jones, he got traded.
Yeah. And I don't want to get into him, but I get mad because I think New England, it wasn't fair what they did to him. They never gave him a real, in my eyes.
He did decent that first year. I thought that he would have been a better play for Atlanta than Kirk Cousins. He would have been a lot cheaper. He had good numbers his rookie year when he had stability, but we know what happened. McDaniels took the Raiders job, and Bill Belichick says, here, what's that guy's name? Pat, the guy that was
Patricia?
Matt Patricia. Yeah, you go ahead and
you might as well put one
over,
up.
You can't make this stuff up.
No, I know. So
yeah. So who do you think? What do you think they should do? Are you saying okay, Caleb Williams with the number 1 overall?
I am pretty convinced that he's better than the others. Yeah.
Okay. So Caleb Williams. What about the 9th pick?
Now, who I want?
I mean, or just anybody that position who you want, whatever.
9th pick. All right. If one of the top 3 receivers are there, I guess it'd be hard to go away from Neighbors or Odunze.
Wow.
Marvin Harrison's kind of weird. Honestly, that's a weird. He hasn't. You saw
think he could fall that far?
Yeah, I don't know where he'll go, but have you noticed he's nowhere to be found? He doesn't run. He doesn't. Marvin Harrison Sr.
That is a little bit of a concern, even though he's got the dad's name, he's got the resume.
But remember,
he didn't have an interview with nobody.
Marvin Harrison Sr. was not ever. He was. I've heard this. It isn't just me. I heard what's his name talking about it. Pat McAfee, and others.
Yeah,
he wasn't exactly really well liked by his teammates. He would never hang out with them. There was times
really quiet to himself. Yeah,
they said he would sometimes not shower and go home and shower, like that kind of stuff.
Man.
And I'm feeling like Marvin Harrison Jr. all of a sudden has just gone quiet. I mean, nowhere to be found. But all right, the Bears, I would take one of those 3 receivers probably. Yes, I would. I couldn't imagine a Dunze.
I don't think those guys will be on at 9, though.
No, I don't. I don't think so either.
I did a mock top 10 yesterday. I think they would probably take this guy. Oh God, what's his name? This tackle. I don't know. Did you out of Illinois? Defensive tackle.
I like the one from Texas a little bit. I like.
Oh yeah. A lot of people's talking about this guy. This Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois, to complement Montez Sweat, or possibly bring in Fashanu maybe to compete with Braxton Jones. I've read some of those mocks.
Dallas Turner's interesting, I guess.
Yeah, he would probably be on the board.
What's his name? Verse from. Because I know they need.
So you want another pass rusher?
They seem to want another edge rusher. By listening to them, for me, I would probably try to trade back a little. I don't want to trade back a lot and get. I like Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle from Texas. That's who I want.
Oh yeah,
I like him a lot. I think he's
need a heck of an athlete, man.
And they always need that guy. They need a tackle who can play 3 downs, and they need or whatever they call it. Yeah, it's 3 downs, 3 technique, whatever they say. They need that because that's their defense, right? That's what Eberflus had. What's that? Bredston Buckner, whatever his name was at Indy. That Buckner. They need. Buckner? Yeah, they need him.
Buckner. Yeah.
The Bears need one of him. Here's what I think. And obviously, if Joe Alt somehow fell, take him immediately.
Yeah. Well, here in Tennessee, we're hoping to snack him at 7.
So I'm saying I don't want to trade too far down though. Like there's all these rumors out. The Bills are going to go up to 9, and I'm thinking to myself, you're going to go
mortgage the farm to get that far up.
I would do it. I would say, all right, you'd want the 2 firsts, right? Probably I want the Minnesota 2nd and a player. You'd have to go. I'd want it all because that's a hell of a jump, right, to get in there.
Yeah.
But that's saying that there's wide receivers there, and I can't see one of those 3 falling. You probably don't see that, right? In any way. I mean, and let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah, dude, of course.
What am I missing on JJ McCarthy? I cannot believe he's going to go in the top 5.
I know. I believe. I was telling Man New Yorker the other day. I kind of believe that one when I see it. We've heard these rumors for years. Remember, we thought Mac Jones was going to the 49ers and it never happened.
Right.
They ended up going with the other guy that ended up getting traded to the Bills or to the Cowboys. So I mean, the guy wasn't that impressive with Michigan at all. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like Michael Penix better, but that's me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I know he's very high IQ guy, could change his formations. He's run a pro style offense, but is he worth going all the way up to 4 with Arizona? But that would help you out if you wanted.
Right.
Tennessee, they need a tackle. They don't need one of those. Now, down here, everybody wants the receiver. That's great for fantasy football, but in real life,
you need a tackle.
The quarterback can't get the ball off. It doesn't make any never mind.
Exactly. Yeah. Now look at how about Denver and Minnesota sitting at 11 and 12. They need something.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're going to
Darnold's all they got, man, and maybe
Stidham for Denver. I guess. I think Jared Stidham.
Not Penix. I've heard that Denver likes Bo Nix.
Jeez.
I don't know if they'll take him at that. Maybe they trade back in the first round or just take him in the second round. But apparently Sean Payton really likes Bo Nix,
Yeah. And Payton, I guess he knows how to do it with quarterback. So
Well, he got 60 starts under his belt. I mean, I understand that. Maybe he would work out with Sean Payton. But, yeah, I don't know why Arizona or Minnesota don't take a chance on Penix.
He
ran a 4.5 the other day.
I saw that. I always liked him. I told you the one time I liked him at Indiana.
He's been healthy for 2 years. They talk about his injury history, but
I mean, I don't know, man. I watched McCarthy play games where he only threw 16 times. I mean, oh God, could he end up being like Brock Purdy? Sure.
I guess that would be the comparable.
But you get Brock Purdy with the last pick of the draft. You don't get Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, you're not going to trade up for him. I mean, this could be Christian Ponder.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. Good. And it could be every Bears quarterback I ever remember.
Mitch Trubisky. I mean,
oh jeez.
Well, maybe not that. He's got a lot of starts under his belt, but still, I mean, it's just he doesn't throw that much.
It's been such a rise, though. Like I thought, okay, maybe Denver or Minnesota does it. It's possible they reach for something. But
I didn't think he was a first-round pick, but I don't know. I've had some coaches on here, some pretty good guys. I respect their opinion. Al Borges just said he was a first-round pick before they won a national championship last year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I wonder he was the offensive coordinator at Michigan at one time, and
wow. Top 5 though, man. Top 5 is tough.
Top 5, yeah. I believe it when I see it.
I think he could be a first-round. I certainly do because you know how that goes. I could see him being.
They say he's got arm strength, but they said that about Zach Wilson too.
Right. I could see him being drafted in the top 5 though. I mean, you're talking Caleb Williams, right? I guess Jaden Daniels.
That's who I got in my mock. Yeah.
And then May.
And May going 3 to
New England. Seems to make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what Arizona does because Marvin, I don't know why they got a lot of issues, and I don't know if they need Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, they let Hollywood Brown go, and they let this other guy go too. Rondell Moore.
Rondell Moore. Right.
So they desperately need.
I guess they would, but if I'm Marvin Harrison, that's not a place I want to be. You know, that's a tough spot.
Neighbors we're at 4.35, man. He had better numbers. He had more yards than Harrison last year.
I think could he go ahead of him, you think?
Possibly.
It could happen.
He's actually participating.
That's the thing. Well, Marvin Harrison Sr. said, I read the quote, he doesn't need to do any of this. He's now an NFLer. We're going to train like we're in the NFL. Wow.
You know that Jim Harbaugh threw to his dad before Peyton got there.
All right. Yeah.
NFL Network put that out on the X-App.
Wow.
So,
I don't know, man. Oh God, the Chargers, if they could somehow get, because they need a wide receiver, I assume. They don't have anything anymore with Keenan Allen.
Somehow from Harrison to make his way back to Chicago, huh?
Yeah, it's not happening. I think I'll say this too. Speaking of second round picks, this just dawned on me thinking of the Bills getting that second round pick for Diggs.
Yeah.
I think about that. The Bears used their second round pick to get Sweat. They used the fourth to get Keenan Allen. You know what I mean? Those are big second round picks.
And you're
are
probably
not
going to have Allen for a year, maybe two. He's 32, so maybe they're looking for a replacement for Keenan Allen and groom a young wideout. You know, maybe that's the thought behind taking another receiver early.
It has to be one of those three, I think. It's got to be one of them. If it isn't,
those three feel like they're way above everybody else.
I know, because I wouldn't go with Thomas Jr. there. I think that'd be a reach, kind of.
Right. He's first-round talent, and Xavier Worthy out of Texas is first-round talent, but those three, they just feel – but you never know. I mean, hey, Stephon Diggs was a fifth-round pick.
Right.
Audemars St. Brown was a fourth-round pick.
Do you think there could be more than 7 in the first-round wide receivers?
Oh, man, I don't know. I know 5 possibly.
They would break the record because the Bills now need one. I assume.
Yeah.
Or maybe
they picked 28.
Yeah. I mean, well, they'd be like in that, that kid from Texas would be down there. I imagine is down in that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a speed burner. Xavier Worthy. 4.2 something, like 4.24 or something.
Yeah. These guys, I mean, man, I don't know what the Bears at 9 is a great spot. I guess you could trade. Could I see them trading to 12 if Denver wants to do something that they feel like they can get a quarterback?
What about Brock Bowers? Didn't you have 2 tight ends?
Yeah.
That's a young quarterback's dream.
My problem with that is only this: how much money they'd have to pay him. I'm a little concerned on the tight end rookie. You know what I mean? Because you're going to so I'm a little shook on that as if I'm the Bears. But although the Bears could afford it, I guess. But no, Brock Bowers and Kmet would be nice. I got to say this as a Bears fan, you know, the Bears had one quarterback in my life, and he got to play about 14 games, McMahon, until he got dumped on his head in '86. by Green Bay, of course, Charles Martin. But then, you know, think about the Bears. The quarterbacks have been really, 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 really bad. I mean, you've never had a 4,000 yard
Cutler. Was you excited when they first got the trade for Cutler?
I was, very, of course, because I've never seen anything like this. They just didn't have anyone.
I mean, they did win a playoff game with Cutler.
Yeah, and they went to the Super Bowl for Rex Grossman. I mean, but I like Kyle Orton more. I wanted Kyle Orton to play.
He turned the ball over less than Grossman.
Yeah. So I mean, with Caleb
Williams was gross at times.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, though, to me is I am going to reserve all judgment on everything. Yeah. Until I see what happens here. The off the field stuff has gotten
girly stuff. Yeah.
You know what? I have to control.
Just win, baby. Just win. Who cares, right?
Yes. You know, and I know what he's doing. When he's at the USC game, he knows that camera's on him.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. And then because then that helps him make the next video where he's in what he did. I don't know if you saw the response video, right? Where he's at USC with the guy and he says what he says on the, you know, he's a millionaire.
He's working on building that brand,
He's the first on, I guess, NLI.
Yeah, NIL guys. This whole group is.
Yeah.
And it started in 2021, John. So, and you could tell there's some entitlement issues already. Blowing off pro days. James Jones, he was like, man, what's he's talking about Marvin Harrison. But I said this earlier before all this came about, Caleb Williams. As a player, he's the best I've seen Lincoln Riley of the 3. The others being Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. Well, both of those guys been to playoffs. Now Baker Mayfield, he's got some of my respect. I mean, for what he did with Tampa, he's won 2 playoff games, and he looked like a total. He still may be kind of underwhelming. I do think that Caleb Williams is a better prospect than those 2, and I think a lot of the general managers will say the same thing.
He's
a taller player than Kyler Murray. Better athlete than Baker Mayfield.
Every time I get a chance, mostly at night, I will put on these podcasts. They're from Chicago, and it's guys that write for the Chicago Tribune or whatever. And I'm listening to these guys. They're digging in. They're telling me they bring on the high school football coach of Caleb. Then they bring in this other guy, and they're telling me, no, his father's never been a problem. We hardly heard from him. He would just congratulate us on a good game or whatever. Caleb, all of his players love this kid. He's nothing but now. To me, unless they're all lying, which I don't know why they would, it appears that he's, he's not, he's not Johnny Manziel. He's not Todd Marinovich. He's not something that's like going to blow up in your face.
I don't think so. I mean,
I think he's
a
better
little
than
different in air quotes.
I think he's better than Jaden Daniels, though, and I do think he's better than.
So? Well, yeah,
no.
yeah.
I think he just plays the game different. Like Jaden Daniels plays the game to me more like Fields, or more like and of course
a certain system around him.
Great receivers for this kid.
Yes.
Caleb Williams had, he had what's his name, Jordan Addison.
Addison,
he
went to Minnesota.
The year before when he had the huge year.
He did really well with Addison.
This year he had nothing but Brendan, I think Jerry Rice's kid. Yeah. And now, and I'm watching him play. It looks like, and he is not going to be him because no one will be as good as Mahomes, but it has that look about it. It's got that look of
and look at all these
control
pieces they've got with the Bears.
Yeah,
it seems like he's in a good spot to be successful.
Yes, I mean, and that's what's sad about Justin Fields. Obviously, wasn't. There was no chance because they allowed Ryan Pace to draft him. He was screwed the minute that guy went up and picked him because it was win now, and they.
But everything's set up for Williams. You got 2 receivers. You got the line's better, the running game.
Defense.
You have the squadron that coached with Geno Smith resurrected his career. There's a lot other than maybe them getting Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know what else they could have done to make things better for Caleb Williams.
And and then you remember all that stuff, and think about the just fake news that goes out where he was where he was going to he was going to do what Eli Manning did. He was going to refuse. None of that was
came out a while back, and now that's all. I think because they're looking at the Bears and like the Bears are pretty built up now.
Right. Yeah. Because in the beginning, I agreed with everyone. Why would you, if you were a quarterback, Justin Fields, when he got drafted, why would you want to go there? They haven't developed a quarterback since Sid Luckman, right? The 40s. They are because they haven't. Think about this. Everyone out there, think about this about the Bears and why my head's going to explode. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. That's insane in modern football. It
really is. It really, They're all about linebackers and defense. I did want to ask you about this. I've got about 8 minutes here. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts about Randall getting injured? Do you think the Bucs are a little bit underwhelming? Do you think maybe that they could possibly go after Giannis in the offseason with those 4 first-round picks?
Yes, I hope so. I've heard that. I've read that. I think so. I think Embiid is a possibility, maybe. Wow. I've heard.
They're so settled right now, the Knicks, man.
I
know that they seem so stable is what I'm trying to say, other than the injuries.
Which is crazy because they've
never really been settled for 20 years.
No, and I think I'm not crazy about Karl Towns, Anthony Karl. I'm not real crazy. I don't know if
is he being mentioned again? I thought that kind of calmed down.
I'm reading it. Donovan Mitchell, of course, always.
That's not the one.
Never goes away.
God.
Yeah, Embiid and
Brunson.
Yeah, Embiid would be the one, or Giannis, of course. And I think it's time for the Knicks to make a bold move, right? I mean, you are. Good Lord, you have no. I love Brunson, and I'm not even so upset that I would miss Randall for like in a playoff series, maybe for a couple games. But if we get to game 7, I don't want the ball in his hands because I've watched him dribble out of bounds. I've watched him just do some crazy stuff when the game's on the line. In my eye, I've seen it. He just kind of. I'd rather have Brunson have the ball, or Anobly's a good defender. DiVincenzo can shoot. I mean, it's not a bad team. How are they going to win? They're not going to. Maybe they win a playoff round this year, right? But how do you stack that team up against, when you're going to Boston or you're going to play?
Right. Right. But if you add Giannis, I think they could.
Now
I would love to. Giannis is, man. You know, I saw the way he played against Anthony Davis, and
yeah.
you know, Doc Rivers is just not the guy. They're going to have to let Doc Rivers go
again. We said this, I think.
This guy gets a lot of jobs, don't he?
Why? Yeah, I don't know. Everyone, I couldn't understand why he got hired. Yeah, they're going to let him go because it's a mess. And I don't know. I'd love to see Giannis. Yeah, Giannis in New York. What a star. I mean, they haven't had one in so long. It would be a perfect fit for New York.
You know,
and
Milwaukee, they got a championship out of Kareem. They drafted him in '69, but he got his championship. You got your championship with Giannis. I mean, maybe start over. I mean, possibly they can go for it again next year without Rivers.
Right.
But if I'm the Knicks, I'm sitting there with those 4 first-round picks. I'm like, this is
the year.
4 good years here.
I've been yelling,
Brunson, man. You know.
Yeah, I know, and it's time. It's really time. They've done nothing for so long, and you always think, why the hell they can never? How does the city of Madison Square Garden? You can't bring in a free agent, really. You can't do anything. You can't make a deal. This is the time and the stability, and I got to give Coach Tibbs there a lot of credit. He's really done a good job. I at first I didn't like it, and now after seeing, they all buy into him. They like it. They play hard defense. I would give him an extension. I think I keep him around.
Yeah, I hope they do, man. And I know that you can't predict injuries with I keep going to call this guy Obi-Wan Kenobi. What's his name? Anunoby?
I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. And then Randall's, he's done for the year. Did you hear about that today? Yeah.
I did.
It's unfortunate, man, but I think those guys play their guts out for Tibbs.
I think I could see the Knicks. Maybe they play Cleveland or something opening round. I mean, I definitely could see an opening round. I could see them winning a series for sure.
Even with this group,
I do. Yeah, I think so. Because I don't know, Randall. Like I said, Randall to me, it's
kind of addition by subtraction.
It gets scrambly with him. It does, and then I feel like you want the ball in Brunson's hands with the game on the line. Yeah. I'm afraid with it in Randall's hands. We've seen it. He will just something bad happen.
Maybe that Brunson's getting a little too hero ball. I've noticed he's shooting a lot more here lately.
You know what else the Knicks got to do? And this is just from my observation watching, and maybe other Knicks fans would think otherwise. Stop complaining to the referees. It's getting bad. Yeah. Like it's a constant. And Brunson's probably one of them that's the worst. Every single time.
Yeah.
That never works out.
Got to get on to him, man.
That never works out.
Got on to her.
Yeah, think about it though. It never works out well when you bitch at the refs all the time.
It just never does. It builds up, and you kind of become. Tell me about spitballing, man. I haven't seen you on it a little bit.
Oh, we're there 6:00 every Friday Eastern time. Me and Scott. It has really divulged into.
I can't wait to see it this Friday. I want to see a breakdown on that Diggs trade.
Yeah, Scott's gonna lose it. Scott's done a 360-degree turn from yesterday.
Nice.
He so we're there at 6:00 Eastern. You can watch us first, then go to this great show, Sports Scope.
Thanks, buddy.
But spitballing real quick though on that. Yeah. I got a ton of shows. All of a sudden, it's turned into a little weird network. I've got several hockey shows I do, and this other guy from Full Press Hockey is on. He brought all this content over. Yeah. We have a soccer show now, and we got some guys. Too? Yeah, not me, but some other people. I don't know. Then I got these guys, a group of guys that are awesome from Pittsburgh, and they basically talk only Pittsburgh sports. You can see them every Wednesday at 8:00 Eastern. And
what channel?
Right on Spitballin' Sports.
Spitball. Okay, yeah. Keep that in mind, folks. Spitballing. Yeah. Ask those Pittsburgh guys about what do they think? They got 2 quarterbacks now.
Yeah,
they may have 0. I don't know.
Yeah, I just hope that he plays 49% of the snaps. The Bears will get a 4th round pick. Yeah. That's all.
Now you're hoping that maybe Wilson gets hurt. No. Or just beats Wilson out, right?
Just beats him out. He could, because I don't think Russell's certainly not the same Russell that we've seen. So
with Arthur Smith, yeah.
John, let me say something.
John, remember that Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I wrote it down. And remember this, Steelers fans. Arthur Smith did not want Justin Fields in the draft. They could have drafted him. He said, no, I don't want this guy.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of odd, though, that he's there now and everybody's. So maybe there's been a change of heart. But
wow.
isn't that
Probably
something?
wasn't his call.
Yeah. No,
That tells
definitely.
me it's going to be all Russell Wilson, man. And not unless he gets hurt or something.
I agree. Because Arthur Smith didn't want Fields.
Yeah.
So
And Wilson is a lot like what Tannehill was. And he was good with Tannehill.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yep.
And Fields, he's raw, man. He probably needs to go to the UFL, man, United Football League.
Or you know what they could do with him? Do a little special package, do some Taysom Hill stuff. I don't know.
Why not? He needs to do something, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent there. But
yeah. Wow. John Rostano, man. Hey, buddy, I appreciate it. Sorry about the technical problems.
No, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. It's a great show. I love it. I watch it. I steal stuff and I use it.
Man, hey, that makes me feel good. You know, I've been working a lot here lately, and I'm working on some things, and
it's good.
I get it in 5 days a week, but I do the best I can.
Great show, man.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Have a good night, man. See you. All right. John Rostano, everybody. Again, I want to apologize to you all about the technical difficulties. Didn't get a chance to do the mock draft. Check out yesterday's program. Did the top 10 probably next week. I'll get on the 11 through 20 and then 20 through 32. We got Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez going to be in tomorrow. I'm going to talk to him about the Knicks as well. Go over some things, ask him about Caitlin Clark and all that. So have a good night, everybody. Again, please share the show if you like the show. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, here on Sports.